Yeah.
What it do, T-Squad? It's your girl Keisha, aka Color Me Pynk, and I'm here with my all tea, all shade Vanderpump Rules Season 10, Episode 6 review. I drop videos Monday through Sunday. Everything that I say is for entertainment purposes only and not to be taken seriously or literally, meaning my jokes or reads. So if that works for you, then let's get into this video. First of all, I have to say to my Vanderpump Rules T-Squad members, sorry I've been gone for the last 4 episodes, but you know I caught COVID. And I had a whole bunch of other things going on. But after the scandal broke last week, I was like, yeah, I got to go back and restart my reviews on Vanderpump Rules because this season, baby, this season has taken me back to OG Vanderpump Rules. Vanderpump has not been this good in years. So let's get into my review because tonight's episode was an A++. So the episode begins with Lala, Katie, Christina, and Raquel coming back from the club. Now at the club, Raquel ended up hooking up with Oliver, who is Garcelle Bouvet from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills' son. Now, mind you, Lala was on him too. They both found him to be quite delicious and delectable, but Lala said that she ended up just giving Raquel to go ahead. She bowed out gracefully when she really honestly didn't and let her go ahead and get him. But mind you, in her confessional, she was like, I mean, if I really wanted him, I could have had him. And it's like, okay, yeah, you're a cute white girl. I'm not gonna ever hate on her and say that she's not. But girl, you ain't everybody's piece of cake. Like everybody don't want you, love. Like, okay, like anybody will take a vagina if it's offered to them. Like men don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? They'll have sex with the ugliest of women. So just because you throw your cooter at a man don't mean that he finds you desirable and all of that. Like, Lala, I have several. So you see Lala, Christina, and Katie all in the bed with each other while Raquel is drunk in the kitchen fixing her some food. But mind you, she has taken everybody's leftovers and piled it into one container and eaten it, which is disgusting. Disgusting on so many levels. You know how many salivas have coagulated? Gross. You don't know if people got mono. It's just nasty. So Lala in her confession was like, the sloppiness of Raquel tonight made me feel like I don't know if I could trust you after one too many drinks around my man. And let me just tell you this. A hoe recognize a hoe. Y'all know I have told y'all I'm a reformed hoe. And Lala is still a hoe. So she peep hoe tendencies. And she peeps them in Raquel. Okay? So that's why she already was peeping game on Lil Mama that night. So Christina was like, is she okay? And they was like, yeah, you know, she's just on a journey. She's figuring herself out. So Christina was like, do you think she made out with Oliver? And Katie was like, I mean, that was the plan. She was like, miss, I'm going to make out with your man. You know, I'm drawing a lot of comparisons because, you know, Raquel told Katie that, you know, she did try to make out with Schwartz, but it just didn't go down. Which you had balls of steel to tell somebody that is still currently married to this man and y'all cool and you sitting across from me having lunch with me and you telling me that you tried to kiss my soon-to-be ex-husband. Yeah, Katie a better one than me because right then and there she would have got cut off because ain't no way you sitting up in my face calmly, coolly, and collected telling me some mess like that. Oh, okay. So then Raquel joins them in the room and sits down on the bed. They asked her, did she kiss Oliver? And she was like, yeah. And so Katie points out that, you know, that was supposed to be Lala because Lala was on them first. And Lala was like, no, I told her, you know, go ahead. I gave it a go ahead. So Katie in her confession was like, you know, I'm starting to see a pattern with Raquel where she's only interested in men her friends are married to or interested in. And that's a huge red flag for me. And I was like, that was God trying to tell you something. God's trying to tell you something. Like, baby, I've had that happen to me before where I have to give y'all a whole story time on that another day. But yeah, like God was literally speaking to them in that moment, letting them know what was about to come. Like he was already putting it in their spirit, child. So Lala says to Raquel, I'm just going to be honest with you. When you're drinking, I would have to say that I would never trust you around my man. And baby, Raquel was so stuck. Like, this is how she was looking. It was giving me either at that point, her and Tom had just started to mess around, because I found out that, you know, we all heard that their affair had to have started around July or August. So at this point, when I was watching Watch What Happens Live tonight, Andy had Katie on, and she said that girls trip was filmed in August. So either they had already started messing around or was about to start messing around at that point. So it was giving me either she was guilty or her feelings were genuinely hurt, and and she was feeling like, how are you of all people gonna say something like that to me, considering the fact that you had sex with my man while we was together and I'm just not finding out about it. Like, ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? Like, how dare you? So baby, Raquel hit Lala with a one-hitter quitter and was like, I mean, like, thank God you don't have a man to have around. Raquel is tired of her and her best child. So Lala, the girls was like, ooh, Raquel. And Lala was like, you know what? You know, she been drinking, so we gonna wrap this up because, you know, I'm not trying to really go there with her. So Raquel was like, yeah, let's just talk once I've sobered up. So the fact that she said, let's just talk when I sober up, she wasn't that drunk. She wasn't that drunk. She know exactly what was said and what went down that night, okay? So she leaves the room, and Kristen is still in the room with them, and Katie was like, oh my God, my toiletries and stuff is in her room. I don't really want to go in there. So she was like, all right, I'll do it. So she goes in the room to go get Katie's toiletries, and when she goes in there, Raquel got a projector going with all these colorful lights and stuff beaming on the ceiling. You know, it helped her go to sleep or whatever. It's very childlike. My son had one of those when he was a teenager. I wouldn't think that a 28-year-old would have one, but if that's what she likes, that's what she likes. So Kristen comes back in the room with the toiletry bag and was like, y'all, like, she straight up got a strobe light going on in the room or whatever. And they laughing about it. And Katie was like, you know, hide your kids, hide your boyfriend, hide your boyfriend. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. The scene was giving me, you know, high school Mean Girls or whatever. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm 41 years old. Me and my friends still have moments like this. You know what I'm saying? Where we all together and it's an eyeball out and we talk about it amongst us or whatever. But it's just a natural part of life. Like, we're not going to sit up here and act like we don't have these conversations behind closed doors. I mean, if you do say that, you're lying. You're lying, you're lying, you're lying. And it was funny. It was funny. But little did they know that Raquel was standing outside of the room listening to everything that they were saying, which once again lets me know that she was not that drunk and she was coherent enough to know what was going down or to even feel like that they was talking about her. So she started crying and go in her room and cry herself to sleep. But at this point, I don't know what's real and what's fake when it comes to Raquel. I don't know if at this point she was playing the victim and trying to garner sympathy from the viewers. So I'm going to pretend like it hurt my feelings and I'm going to go in my room and pretend like I'm crying and I'm really upset. Or it could have been a situation where she was really upset. Who knows at this point, because we don't even know who this lady is. Come to find out, her name ain't even Raquel. It's Rachel. So we don't even know who this lady is, child. The next day, the girls are in the bed again. I don't know what's up with, you know, the girls on this show, on these Bravo shows that just all pile up in the bed with each other and just sit up and talk all day. Like, what are y'all doing? Get up. So they all in the bed talking about what happened with Raquel, and she walks in and they asked her if she remembered what happened. And she was like, Not really. I just remember saying something offensive. And so they tell her what was said. And she was like, oh my God, like, oh, I can't believe I said that. Girl, you remember what you said. You remember what you said. You don't remember anything else, but you remember that. That lets me know that you weren't that drunk and y'all stupid for falling for it. So Lala was like, if someone said, I don't know if I feel comfortable if you'd had one too many drinks around my dude, do you really feel like, well, if you can't keep him here I am. And Raquel was like, no. And Lala was like, I mean, if you do feel that way, I'm not your audience. I respect people's relationship. And I looked at the television like, what you say? You respect people's relationships. And I got her flowing down my back. Girl, Lala, if you don't throw yourself out the window and hush with your foolishness. And Raquel kind of sitting there looking at her like, what you say? I don't understand how nobody sat there and started laughing, because I would have immediately started laughing. So I'm like, right words, wrong messenger, darling. So Raquel in her confessional was like, this is textbook definition of a hypocrite. And I was like, you better speak a word, honey. So then they start to get dressed to head to the Airbnb, and Katie and Lala decided they're going to take a shower together. I'm like, why are y'all showering together? What is up with this showering together stuff going on over there at Bravo? Since when do friends have to shower with each other? Y'all don't have to conserve water. Y'all not at home paying a water bill. Why can't y'all take turns? What is happening here? This is so weird. I don't take showers with my best friend. What is going on? Back in LA, Tom Schwartz invites Scheana over and a stylist to help him with his look, because he's about to get back out there on the scene. He got the restaurant that's about to open. He really needs to get his life and his wardrobe in order. I mean, Schwartz just always looked like he smelled like sweat and Chipotle. He just looked like he don't take baths on the regular, like, ugh. So Scheana asked the stylist, should he still have clothes attached to his ex? Let me tell you something. I'm not getting rid of no clothes that I had while I was in a relationship with you. What? Absolutely not. That's stupid. So the lady was like, I mean, we could put it like in an archive box. And Source was like, a box. And Scheana was like, I mean, Katie's the one planning this girls trip to celebrate her divorce, so I should throw you guys a party. And he was like, a divorce? And she was like, yeah, a divorce. So Tom is hurt by this, of course. And he was like, well, maybe I should be out here, kissing on chicks and doing that. And I don't like what Scheana is doing. And it's like she's trying to cause discord between him and Katie and plant seeds in his head and push him to make out with girls and do whatever to hurt Katie. It's like, if you got beef with her, have beef with her, but stay out of their situation. Stay out of it, because somebody get involved with you and that man that you just married that's a deadbeat daddy, you will be having all kinds of a problem. So Scheana, you and your botched voice need to go get some Rosetta Stone and a speech therapist and have several. So the girls are in the car headed to the Airbnb. They're driving and they're talking about, relationships. And Katie says that she still wants Tom to be her best friend, but they need to work out some kinks. Everything is still fresh. Y'all just not going to be bosom buddies and being able to put feelings aside this soon. It's just not even something that is palpable. You know what I'm saying? So Christine asks Raquel, what was it that made her finally leave James? And she tells this story about how he acted a fool at her parents' house and, got loud and was disrespectful to her father, was calling her mama fat bees and saying her daddy looked miserable and didn't love her mama and all types of stuff. Girl, let me tell you something. Me and my whole family would have jumped James. We would have jumped him, baby, because ain't no way with your little scrawny behind. Baby, I would have boxed him up real quick. You done lost your mind. You the last person to talk about anybody family with you and your alcoholic mama. Boy, bye. So she gets upset talking about the situation and she starts to cry and says that she doesn't know who she is anymore. She doesn't know who she is after the breakup. And she's still hyperventilating and having a panic attack and things. And she's crying and she's like, I'm a mess and I beat myself up over everything. And Lala was like, I feel like, you still reeling from what happened between me and you, but everything is fine. Like, we're fine. We're good. So she starts to calm down and everything. And they're able to make their way to Lake Havasu. This is my take on Raquel at this moment in time in her life, and from a viewer looking and gazing in and just guessing or guesstimating or judging. I think that from what I've learned about Raquel, pretty girl, a little flighty, but she's not dumb by a long shot. She's a little ditzy, but she's not dumb. I think she plays that up. But she's not all the way ditzy. Like, I have my dumb blonde moments, but I'm by far dumb. And I think that, she was a pageant girl. That was her life, her career, her whatever. She got with James. She got on this show or whatever. And for however many years, she was defined by being the ditzy girlfriend of James and being on this show. And that relationship was toxic, being with a drunk and alcoholic and somebody that is vile and violent with their words and things of that nature. I think that it did begin to take a toll on her. And I think that she did the best thing for herself with ending the engagement. But I think that once it happened and they officially broke up and she moved out of the house and had to fend for herself, it was like life smacked her in the face. And it was just like, oh my God, what am I about to do with myself? Like, I'm single. I'm not engaged anymore. I have to physically take care of myself financially because she said James paid for everything. So she didn't have to worry about bills or anything of that nature. And it's like, I feel like this was like the first time she had to grow up and be an adult in her 20s, because Raquel is 28 years old. So I feel like at 28, this was the first time she'd had to probably live on her own, take care of herself. She said that she'd aged out of pageants, so she can't go back and do that. She's on this show. Who knows how long that's gonna last. So I think that she was in like a midlife crisis at the age of 28, not knowing what she was about to do with herself. She was still reeling from the breakup. The fact that he was able to disregard her in such a way that you already in a so-called serious relationship a month after our engagement is called off. I think that was a kick to her chest. It hurt. She didn't know how to process it or move on. I think she was like literally in a whirlwind. And not to say that that excuses her behavior. I'm just trying to figure out her mind frame at the time. And I do feel like she was telling the truth when she said, I'm a mess. And she was like, I'm a mess. Like, y'all don't get it. Like, I'm messed up. And I think that what ended up happening with the Tom situation was she was looking for affection and support and security anywhere she could find it. Literally. And let's not forget, word on the curb is that Tom likes to party with that booger sugar, allegedly, and that she does too. Like, she even said in her statement to the public that she's had an addiction problem. If you notice this season, Raquel is drinking excessively. We never saw her drink like that. I think that that girl literally was going through a lot. And I think the drinking, the relationship issues, her financial issues, her career issues, the insecurities, the heartbreak, all of that stuff, the booger sugar, all played a part in why she did what she did with Tom. I think she wanted to latch on to any and anybody that she could for security. And look at Tom. It's somebody she knows, somebody that's financially in a better place than she is, somebody that's on, that's popular, that got something going for himself, and they was partying with each other. And it was dead flat wrong what she did to Ariana, what they both did to Ariana. More so even, of course, Tom than her. But what really got me and what was diabolical and down low is that y'all did this allegedly in these people's house. Like, and you was calling her your best friend and all of this type of stuff. Like, that lady was there for you. And Tom is just, he is just slimy. But the one thing about it, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. You really honestly do. But like I said, I think that Raquel plays up the Bambi in distress role. I really honestly do. And she and Tom gonna pay for this. They both are going to pay for this. They really are. Back in LA, we see both of the Toms at the bar. James comes and visit them. But before James get there, they have a conversation about whether or not they're going to take Lisa up on their offer to buy old boy out. And they both decide they're not going to do it. They're going to figure it out and try to work with old boy. James get there, like I said, and they decide that they are going to have a guys' night out with Scheana. And James was like, just Scheana. Like, I don't want Raquel and nobody to be there because my girl already, like, you need to stop hanging around her and focus on us. So they was like, yeah, it's just going to be Scheana. Back in Lake Havasu, at this point, Charlie, my girl Charlie has arrived. I live for Charlie. Charlie reads the girls and gets Lala together, and I live for that season when she was getting Lala together left and right, and Lala backed down because she did not want the smoke. So they all go out to dinner, and Raquel kissing Oliver comes up again. And Raquel was like, Lala was into him, but she gave me permission. And Lala was like, that was fine. Everything was good until we got back to the room. Charlie in her confession was like, it sounds like someone did get chosen and is a little bit bitter. And I was like, you hit the nail on the head. So Charlie was like, Raquel never gets ballsy. So I kind of like, to see her get her confidence. And Lala was like, as a woman, that comment was offensive and it should never be anything to be proud of. She's still mad that girl told her if you had a man to be around. Girl, that was not that offensive. You just mad that you threw something out there and she punched you in the face back with it, child. So Charlie in her confession was like, I don't know who made Lala the president of women. I would never want her to represent me. If we're going to talk about something, talk about how you went from a mansion back to an apartment. Oh my God. The only thing that would have made that read 10 times better is if she would have said it in real time in Lala's face, baby. Lord, that was a good one. So Raquel was like, if anybody should be on edge about you being with their man. And Lala was like, what you trying to say? She was like, you got to get over it. That was 6 years ago. I was drinking then. So you sitting up here telling this girl she got to get over the fact that you slept with her man and she just found out? Girl, baby, I would have punched her in one of them implants because who you talking to? So Charlie was like, Raquel was like, I was drinking too. So like, how you coming at me about something that we both have done? And it is a pot calling up kettle black. It is being a hypocrite. So Charlie was like, that is a valid point. And Lala was like, you tried to make out with Tom. And Raquel was like, I initiated, but it didn't happen. Lala was like, you want to bring up 6 years ago. I've lived a billion times since then. And Katie was like, but you just brought it to her, Lala. And Lala was like, and we've learned why. If you can't respect that, that is your issue. No, it's not her issue that you slept with my man while we were together, whether you were drunk or not. You did it and you never said nothing. And y'all kept it a secret and you just not admitting it to me 6 years later. And then you just want me to be over it. Girl, bye. You need to be happy I ain't boom bop you in the head when I found out. So, Raquel was like, I don't respect that you slept with James while we were together. I feel like she's being a hypocrite. You slept with a married man. And I was like, ooh, she did it. She did it. She went there. She went there. Boom. Let's go, Raquel. Let's go. And let's not even get it twisted. What Raquel did to Ariana, she's on my, bleep bleep list. But when it comes to Raquel and Lala, get her. Cause Lala been messing with that girl since day one. So Katie was like, and you tried to make out with a still married man. True. And she was dead wrong and a dirt ball for that. Dead wrong, dead wrong, dead wrong, dead wrong. And Raquel was like, you guys are separated. Baby, I don't care if we were separated or not. That's still my husband. That's still about to be my ex-husband. What you look like making out with my ex-husband and we all in a group and we hang out together and you in my face and you trying to Raquel. See, this is when Raquel try to play the dumb role and need to get slapped. So Katie was like, I'm trying to move past some shit. You just did. I've been very gracious to you, but I don't have to be. I could literally light your butt on fire. I'm not divorced from this man. And like I said, Katie better than me, because when she told me, it would have been a wrap for her. And so Raquel was like, I didn't make out with him. And Lala was like, stop trying to take credit for not making out. He didn't make out with you. That's the only reason why it didn't happen, because he didn't want you. And Raquel was like, you slept with a married man. And Lala was like, I suggest you disengage. And Raquel was like, you were literally called a mistress. Why do you think that was? So now Lala trying to go with this whole story that she didn't know technically that Randall was married. Girl, get out of here. You loved being that man mistress. You loved it. You were gloating about it. You was making fun of the wife. And now look at you. You're in the exact same situation she was in. Look at how life turns around on you. You were a mistress. Get over it. Stop trying to play the victim and the martyr. So Lala in her confession was like, the word mistress hit such a nerve with me. Randall has never had to defend himself. It's me that had to pay for someone else's actions. Once again, girl, you was bragging about the Range Rover and the private jets and this, that, and the third. Deal with the consequences of your actions. Sucks for you. So they get up from the table and leave Raquel and Charlie at the table together. And Charlie cracking up laughing was like, that was so effing funny, Raquel. She was like, I love to see people squirm. Good for you. And they high five each other. And baby, I just live for Charlie. Charlie is a good time. And I love that she gets the girls together. The next day, Katie, Kristen, and Lala are all sitting on the couch. And they talking about the night before and how Raquel moved her stuff down into Charlie's room. So Lala was like, this trip is supposed to be about you, Katie. And 2 nights in a row, we've been dealing with Raquel and her, yitty decisions. And that is messed up that, on the trip that's supposed to be about, Katie getting some peace and, fun time, that has been drama. But let's not pretend, Lala, that you ain't played a hand in that. Then we see Raquel and Charlie in the room. And Raquel was like, I don't feel welcome here and I don't want to stay. Scheana is meeting up with the guys tonight. Maybe we should just crash their party. They're more of my friends anyway. And I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. But I'm like, see, this is why you can't say that Raquel is a dumb blonde or she plays dumb. She knows exactly what you're doing, because love. We just had a whole argument over the last 2 days about your homegirl saying they don't trust you around their men. And what do? You leave them and go hang around with the man that you just admitted to me that you tried to kiss. Make it make sense, girl. You don't care. So after packing their stuff, she and Charlie head outside to tell the girls that they're leaving. And Raquel was like, yeah, we're about to leave. I don't feel welcome here. I feel like this was a big mistake for me to come. So we're just going to head back home. Scheana is meeting up with the guys tonight. So we're just going to go kick it with them. Christine was like, well, that makes sense. And Lala looking like, you got to be effing kidding me. So Charlie was like, oh, Kristen, stop. She ain't going over there to F Tom. And Charlie in her confession was like, I'm surprised Christina had something to say without Katie's dick in her mouth. So Lala was like, I think it's a good idea that you leave. Yeah, she was like, Raquel was like, well, you told me it was cool to talk to him. She was like, it's not about that. It's about the fact that you called me a mistress again. And Raquel was like, well, I think you're just a little bit angry that Oliver did choose me over you, okay? If he wanted to take you out on the dance floor, he would have done that. Baby, dig the knife in deeper, girl. So they end up leaving, and you hear Charlie on her microphone was like, fuck that lip balm girl with her dry ass hair talking about Christina, child. I holler. Ain't Charlie mixed or something like that? Dude, she got some black in her. I don't know why I'm remembering that. Maybe I'm tripping. But anywho, so they end up leaving, and it's just a big fiasco at this moment. Lala and Christina tell Katie that Charlie is a part of the problem because she gives bad advice. Nah, Charlie ain't a part of the problem. Y'all just don't like that Charlie was getting y'all together. That night, Lala, Katie, and Christina go to this like country western bar, and it's filled with, you know, white people. And some black guys end up walking through, and baby, Lala's antennas got the beeping. Black guys, black guys, black guys. Oh my God, black guy alert, black guy alert. Like, baby, she see a black man of any type of shape, color, or fashion. She is on it and ready to go. Thompson, that's more my vibe. That's more my vibe. And it's just like, girl, okay, whatever. So she ended up inviting the dudes back over their table, and they end up kicking it with her. And then at the end of the episode, back in LA, it's the guys' night with Scheana. And Scheana tells the guys how Raquel and Charlie end up leaving the trip early. And James was like, yeah, I know, Lala called me and told me that she had to get my ex-girlfriend together. Now, I'm paying attention to Sandoval's face as they're having this conversation. He's this real straight face, kind of like staring off into space. And it was giving me either he just trying to figure out like what happened, or he already knew because Raquel told him and he trying to make sure that he acts surprised. That's what it was giving me. So then next thing you know, Charlie and Raquel walk in, and everybody was like, hey, and Sandoval was like, oh my God, what you doing here? And then I noticed when he stood up, he fixing his shirt and stuff. I'm trying to make sure he look okay. And he just smiling because she there. And I'm wondering if they hadn't already been messing around, was this the night that it happened? And baby, the episode goes off, child. And I was like, ooh, scandalous, 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 honey, scandalous. Baby, tonight's episode was A. It was an A+. I haven't given out an A+ in a long time, but this cast deserve it because they are bringing it with this foolishness. Y'all let me know down below in the comment section what y'all thought about tonight's episode of Vanderpump Rules. If you're not watching it, get to watching it. It is everything. This is stuff that's playing out right now in real time. So get with it or be left behind. Make sure that y'all thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.